You're now sitting at the Wavetable.
Welcome everyone to the Wavetable episode 10. My guest this week is Space Prince.
How's it going, everyone?
Well, I'm doing well, man, and I hope all the viewers are too. How are you doing, bro?
Bro, I'm doing good. I mean, like, another day in paradise, am I right?
Another day in paradise, just fucking producing like all day, every day, hey?
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to make the most of it, or at least try to. I'm finding it pretty hard, to be honest with you. Like, you know, when you're just doing the same thing every day, the inspiration that comes from it is very, like, lackluster.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw any of my, like, 30-day challenge posts, but half of them, I'd say, like, a good half of them were decent. And then the other half were just like, okay, this is just, like, some uninspired, recycled trash that kind of is a shitty continuation of what I did yesterday.
Yeah, dude, that's such a mood. It's just kind of like, okay, what am I going to make today? Just kind of like trying to, what's the word for it? I don't know, dude. It's just like sequels upon sequels because there's nothing more that you can pull from.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you pretty much just need that outside, like some external source. It doesn't necessarily have to be quote unquote inspiration, but just some kind of something different every day is like, it helps madly.
Yeah, well, I've been a big like one to push the whole like daily walk thing. I've started calling it my sanity walk.
Do you want to tell the viewers about the dream walk stuff that you were talking about?
Oh, dude. Okay, so my roommate Manifex, or Jack, we bought these dream cloaks a while back, which is just like super psychedelic, colorful cloaks. And we wanted to go out for an adventure, so we're like, fucking hell, let's put them on. Went down the beach, and we were just kind of like marveling at the scenery, like, oh, it's so nice to be outside, and like, look at those clouds, it's beautiful. And then we were kind of like, yeah. Probably time to head back, you know. And we're walking along, and then it's just like typical Melbourne rain. And we're just like, fuck, running along the beach, like trying to get back to our house. And then it's just like, we are soaked by the time we got back. But it's a good thing we left when we did. Otherwise, like, it would have sucked a lot more.
Yeah. Gotta fucking love it, man. Melbourne is like, I reckon Melbourne is just like trying to talk to people. They're just like, fuck you, have some shit weather. Like, you don't deserve to be able to do things.
I don't know, dude. Like, as much as it kind of sucks getting caught in the rain, it just made me feel human again. Like,
True. It's
kind of weird to say, but like, I just properly felt human for the first time in a while. Because there are days where it's definitely like, bro, I'm just a monkey in a cage. Like,
yeah.
Even if I wanted to, I can't go. Like, I can't go. You know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of mind-boggling.
I think my girlfriend loves rain, and I'm always wondering like, why do you love rain so much? And maybe that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
So dude, mad congrats for fucking releasing on Syndicate Audio. That
hey, cheers, man. Thank you.
Yeah, that track, your track, The Divide. It's fucking sick because it's obviously got like this essentials of like rhythm and shit, but it's also got such a huge atmosphere. Like, a lot of tracks just feel like they're played or they're created just so they can be played in clubs and shit. But it seems like you really put a lot of effort into making it playable across like a lot of different situations, you know?
Yeah, well, the whole thing with that track is it was one of the like first tracks I had made, and I was like, oh, okay, I actually really like this. And before putting that out, I'd been sitting on that for maybe a little over a year. But over that year, it had like stage 1 and then like 2 and 3. And it just had like developed, or like version whatever, until it got to a point where it's like, okay, this is done. I need to move on and just never touch this again. But yeah, it kind of just went from this generic rhythm track to something that I felt very much encapsulated me as an artist and a person, kind of like the whole Space Prince thing. It's very much like, I want you to feel like you're in space, or like you're floating in a void, or like that's what a lot of my tracks tend to revolve around, is setting a scene and an atmosphere, and just kind of like, I want you to feel what I feel.
Yeah. And you do a really good job at expressing that visually as well. Like anyone who's seen you on Instagram, like the hair, the flight suit, the artwork. Oh my god, I'm all about it, dude.
Yeah, well, so much effort goes into it. Like a lot of nights I'll just lay in bed and I'll just be like thinking like, right, what can I do next? What can I like incorporate into my visual aesthetic, my branding, my music? But like, honestly, I wouldn't be able to do any of it if it wasn't for like, you know, my best mates, like, you know, Jack, Manifex, Lawrence Burnt. I was actually laying awake in bed last night, re-listening to his podcast again with you and just being like, fucking hell, dude. Like, it's so humbling hearing all the boys talk about each other in such a like a beautiful light, and just how we're all, you know, we're all our own entities, but we're all like a family and kind of like united, and we work together and help each other so much to try and build each other up.
I was listening to the Unheard podcast yesterday, and Super Cool was like, Unheard asked Super Cool, what's the best show you've played? And Super Cool was like, oh, definitely Phil Friends, with emphasis on the Friends part.
Yeah. That was a really sick show up at Boney. Just like super like dark and like kind of almost in a cage vibe. And like,
that's fucking sick. So yeah, going back to The Divide, I saw some clips of that on Instagram, or not Instagram, sorry, SoundCloud, dating back up to like 6 months ago, I think, perhaps even further. Can you explain kind of what the journey was with that track, what it started as, like the base concept, and how you evolved it over time?
Okay, so you know the tune Rumble by not Oracle, Rumble by Infect?
Yeah.
I remember that tune, and I remember seeing an Instagram like video of him playing it out like months and months ago, before like the EP, the high score EP or whatever it was called, was even like announced. And I remember seeing that track and being like, that is the fucking shit. That's so tough. I need it. And a lot of the time when I hear like a big thing with me, how I learned or used to learn, I still do it now, is I'll hear tracks that I like, and a lot of the time they're unreleased, and I'll be like, I want that. But naturally you can't have it because it's unreleased. So I'll just be like, get a rip of it, put it in Ableton, and just try and recreate it. And that's how the start of The Divide happened, is I was trying to recreate the Rumble synth.
That's a really good idea.
I was going on like Infect streams and just being like, how do you make your sounds? And it just was like square waves, OTT, like tonal delay. And I was like, this is fucking sick by itself. I'm going to make something else. And then a lot of the time, these ideas just turn into their own monster. And I love that. Yeah.
One of my favorite artists to try to recreate is Code Pandorum. And back like last year or the year before, I was writing an EP called Intruder EP. And honestly, it barely sounds like Code Pandorum other than like some choir samples and pan snares and shit. But it really helped me to kind of create my own sound, even though I was trying to imitate someone else. I guess it goes back to how Skrillex was trying to copy Noisia with his growl basses, but then he ended up making his own thing. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, dude, it's so sick how like it very much one thing can easily become its own monster. It's just like the twist of a novel way. And it really comes back to that whole thing of like, just experiment. It's such generic advice, but you know, it's said over and over and over again for a reason.
For sure. I mean, I know I'm not a big producer yet, but if anyone wants to imitate me, I would love to hear how that ends up sounding.
Yeah, well, dude, the keyword is yet, you know, like, if you just keep going, like, you cannot fail. A big thing that I think over and over again to myself is like, a few years ago, I decided like, this is it. I'm not doing anything else with my life. I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to travel. I'm going to make music that is going to affect thousands of people. I've decided that, and I'm going to like keep going until that happens. And I think if that's the attitude you adopt and you just keep going, like you can't fail. Like, you just can't.
Yeah. You will eventually succeed. Like, I think a lot of people put a rush on success. They're like, oh, I need to be successful before 30 or whatever. But, dude, the time doesn't matter. Just fucking keep going.
Yeah, dude. But I think we're all guilty of that. Like, I'm very impatient with myself. If I like, even opening Serum, if I like twist two knobs and it's not a perfect sound, I'm like, well, I guess I'm a shit sound designer, hey. But like, at the end of the day, all you can do is like laugh at it and just keep going.
Yeah. And yeah, just even if you make something that's laughable, just fucking, it makes you human, You don't always have to create the best thing. It's just part of being human.
100%.
So I wanted to talk about the other clips that I've seen on your SoundCloud. You've got like 3 or 4 1-minute clips or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if any of those are slated for label releases yet.
No. They're just kind of like sitting in a backlog at the moment. The idea is I just want to like accumulate a bunch of tunes, and then once I've got enough that I can kind of like take a few from and be like, okay, this is an EP, maybe this is an EP, and then just like send it off to whatever labels. I don't know. It's kind of like I've got a few strategies that I've like put together over time, but at this stage, the plan is just like hold tight. Of course, I still want to share my music. That's why I'm putting the clips out.
Right.
Because, like, a lot of the time is like I do this so I can share it with people. I want people to love what I love, and like, here's something cool that I enjoy, and maybe you'll enjoy it as well. But right now, it's kind of like be patient. I just gotta like hold tight.
Cool.
Something funny is every time. So like Tom the Freak, another amazing Melbourne producer. I look up to him so much, but at the same time, he's also one of my best mates. And, he'll come around and we'll just like talk shit. Sometimes there's been a few times where like he's come into my room being like, all right, dog, we're opening Massive X and we're going to spend like hours just trying to make cool noises. And it's really cool to learn from. But every time I finish a tune and I send it to him, he's like, yeah, so I'm going to send this to Interval. And I'm like, no, don't do that. Don't do that, dog. He's like, nah, it's too late, mate. I've already done it. And I'm like, fuck, okay.
Does he actually do it?
Yeah, he does.
Fuck
and,
yeah.
It's really humbling to like think that this god tier producer has that much faith in me. It means the world, and it's kind of like, man, I struggle to put it into words. Like, the belief of my homies is everything to me. Like, I don't care what people online think, but like, these people are my family, the Melbourne crew, and like, I miss them so much, and I cannot wait to like bring everyone together and just like see each other and share music, go on like a prod week, and just like go away with everyone and like make tunes.
Oh man, learn how to use Massive X.
Oh, yeah.
Have you actually like fully like delved into it?
I have a bit, mainly because of Tom, because he sends me tunes and he's like, I made this completely using Massive X, and I'm talking like everything, like drums, snares, yeah, everything. And the fact that someone can make like an entire tune out of Massive X, it's just intriguing.
Yeah,
and it's also kind of the idea of like, Serum was a big revolutionary like synth to come out, and Massive X is new, and everyone's kind of like dismissed it. So it's like, maybe if I like get in on that, I could be, finding something new, or just sound a bit different from everyone else.
Yeah,
it's just fun, like experimenting with a new toy.
Yeah. Have you tried Phase Plant at all? Yeah.
When Phase Plant came out, I remember Drea, Scribe and Manifex and we pretty much all got together and we're like, right, let's make some like cool bass patches with this and just do a bunch of like prod challenges. And that was a good time.
Because I've been watching some Code Pandora tutorials on Defier Society. Shout out once again to Defier.
It's the good shit.
But yeah, he uses Faceplant, and I was actually really, really surprised to find that because I felt like his sound was so well established before Faceplant even existed. And then Faceplant came out, and his sound changed, but not a terrible amount. So, like you said, you can kind of sound a bit different while still achieving the same general feel that you're going for. If you just like maybe switch up to Massive X or Faceplant from the usual serum.
Yeah, I mean, like, have you been fucking around with Faceplant a lot?
I wouldn't say a lot, but I've been trying to learn it here and there. During the daily challenge thing, I had a couple of days where I was trying to learn Faceplant, but then it just took me way too long to actually get the track done. So I'm kind of saving the Faceplant learning for times where I have the time to be able to do it.
Yeah, it very much is like that. A few times when I'll go to try something new, I'll do the same thing. I'll just like chuck in a Faceplant or a Massive X, and I'll be like, right, I'm gonna like do something cool with this, and then I'm like trying to use it. I'm like, what? No, fuck it off. Back to serum. I know how to use this really quickly, and then it's like, and then you've got the thing you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man. So I wanted to ask, since you have such a clear Since you have such a clear, cohesive image behind Space Prince, what was the main inspiration, or just what made you want to create Space Prince as a whole?
I see the origins of Space Prince don't really go beyond my partner at the time saying some offhanded like shit, and she called me a Space Prince. And there's a whole story, but like we're not going to go into that. But yeah, and I was just kind of like, yeah, okay, fuck yeah, that works. And at the time when I was deciding that name, I was doing Your Shot. And it was very much like, cool, you need to have a name tonight and decide on it. So I'm like, fuck, what do I choose? And that came into my mind, and I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, like we'll go with this. This is sick. I can do this.
God, I would love to hear that story, man, but maybe it's something for private. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, like, I can tell you, and if you want to edit it out. Basically, back in my like high school days, I used to live in like a little flat out the back of my parents' place, and I'd have a bunch of like high school friends over, and we just have really just wild parties. Like, we'd have like these panel lights, and you know, like, because I was always into the whole like, I'm gonna be a DJ and I'm gonna have like cool parties and such. So I had like you know, lights, smoke machines, strobes, all that. And I very much prided myself on like taking these people and my friends to another like realm. Like, I just wanted to take them somewhere else. And people and like my friends were like, you know, oh my God, it's like we're going to outer space, or we're going to another dimension. And then, you know, I always grew up being taught that, like, when you have people over and when you, like, are being a host, you got to, like, take care of everyone. You got to, like, you know, almost become, like, the waiter or the butler of the night. And one of my friends and my partner at the time were like, oh, my God, he's such a prince. He's so, like, sweet and, you know, like, all that gooey shit. And then... yeah, and then that's when my partner offhandedly said, oh yeah, he's a space prince. And I'm like, that's the juice right there.
Dude, that's actually so, like, it's hard to come up with an alias that represents you as a person, but she just fucking handed it to you. Like, that's amazing, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love it. And it's kind of like being met with, people either think it's like the coolest shit, or they're like, oh, that's a bit like, that's a bit weird. Like, come on, man. Is that the best you've got? And I'm like, yeah, man. Like, I love it.
Who gives a shit, dude? Like, is that the best you got? Like, it's, as long as it's you, who gives a shit what the words mean? Like, whatever, man.
Dude.
Fuck, bro. So, kind of on the same lines, like, just talking about the whole Space Prince thing in general, and your fucking epic hair. I gotta ask, like, how long have you had that hair? How, like, what inspired it, man?
I've always wanted long hair since I was like a small like kid. I always thought like, you know, I was always kind of like jealous of like girls because they got to have long hair, and growing up it was like boys have short hair, girls have long hair, and I'm like, no, I want to be pretty too. Like I want to be a beautiful person, and I just saw long hair as like a really beautiful thing. So, you know, as soon as I got out of like a school that made me have my hair short, I grew it out. And then when I was about 16, I started dyeing it blue. It started with like a streak in the front, and then it went to like, I think I had like half blue, half black at one point. Then it was, what else? Like mainly it was just all revolving around like blues. And then Your Shot came around, and I was like, right, I got to do something whack. I got to do something really cool and different. I want to like show up on game day and like people turn and like have their eyes on me. Like Your Shot was a very fun experience, but the whole time I was like trying to mega mind it. I'm like, right. How do I both like push people up and like make sure everyone has a great time, but also have like people's attention? Yeah. Mainly like judges and stuff, not just like, ooh, I want to be the center of attention. Like it was just kind of like, I want people to think of me as someone who's noteworthy and like worth their time. So I was always trying to put in 100% effort, but it very much came down to people remember me from my hair. So I was like, right, we're going to fucking take the top and make it pink. And I was like, boom, grand idea. Walked in and everyone's like, oh my God, your hair, it's like pink and blue. That's so cool, dude. And I'm like, yeah, man.
Oh, fuck. And now I've just added to the list of people who've said that. Anyway,
thank you though. I really appreciate it. I take a lot of pride in it, and it's just like I love it. It makes me happy.
It's sick, man. Like, yeah, a lot of people just try to like blend in with the crowd, and I really have respect for people who like have the balls to stand out.
Yeah, well, I very much want Space Prince to be like, I want to be a voice for those people that feel like they don't have one, or like they're kind of too scared to speak out, or they've got anxiety. Like I have a lot of anxiety, you know, a lot of people think I'm this, you know, really ambitious, outgoing person, but like half the time I'm shitting myself inside. But like, if I can do it, anyone can. And I very much want people to feel like that when they see me. I want to be that voice for people and make people feel like, hey, if like he can do it, anyone can. And I can do that too, you know? People are like, oh, I wish I could dye my hair like you. I'm like, fucking do it. You can do anything if you just do it.
Those are words to live by, man. Just you can do anything if you just fucking do it.
Yeah.
So you brought up Your Shot a couple of times now, and Jack mentioned that you actually teach DJing for Your Shot, right?
No.
Okay.
Well, the idea was this year I wanted to. I wanted to be one of the trainers, and last year I did everything I could to try and like put my hand in the air and be like, hey, hello, like I'm here, let me do this, like get as involved as possible. Not only just like, you know, for myself and kind of like, you know, a lot of people will be like, this is the guy. Also, hang on, how do I put this into like a good way of putting it? I very much believe in the whole, like what I said before, you can do anything if you want to do it. There is no shortage of like fame or potential or anything. I want to just help people feel that they can do anything that they want to do. And being a trainer is a great way of doing that. I want to like, you know, be a mentor to people. And if someone's having a hard time, because like Your Shot's a very like intense process. And I've watched many people go through it and be like, I can't do this, and kind of like freak out. And I just, you know, if I can help them by being that extra one cunt in the crowd just going, wow, and like having a crazy time, because that helps so much. If you're having a set and you're shitting yourself and you see one dude in the front just having a great time, like that's going to like bring you back up. That's going to bring you back up and get you back in the moment. And if I can be that person, whether I'm on stage, in the classroom, if I can be that person to help someone, like I'll do whatever I can to do that.
And I think they should have you on board to help out, because you're obviously a very friendly guy who has people's like best interests at heart. And like,
thank you.
Once again, with the hair, when you walk into a room and you see someone with that hair, you're just like, oh, he's a fucking cool, like, chill dude. You know, you're just gonna, you're not gonna think he's like some elitist who's like, oh, you got to do this and you got to do that. You know.
I mean, like, whatever you think, regardless of when you see me, like, I'm sure if you just like come up and say hi, like, I'm never gonna like shoot you down or like give you a nasty look. It's always gonna be like, hey man, fucking welcome to the club. You know, you having a good time, having a bevy, like. What's your vibe? Let's have a good time. Let's fucking get in the pit. Let's enjoy some tunes.
Fuck yeah, man. That's what it's all about. So when you're playing shows and under that flight suit, because it's hard to kind of tell how thick that material is, I was wondering if it gets like really hot under there or not.
Oh, dude, yeah. It gets so hot. If you look at photos from gigs, it always starts with it on, and then like maybe 10, 15 minutes max in, it's like tied around my waist. So it's like, okay, I'm always thinking like, I need to wear like a dope ass shirt under this. It's going to be covered in sweat, but it needs to look cool for when the suit does come off, you know?
That's gold.
Yeah.
And so
I got to thank...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I know Lawrence brought it up in his podcast, but like, I cannot thank him enough for him going past Bravo 1 and being like, oh shit, Corbin needs this. This is going to be dope.
Yeah, so he said he saw it and then he texted you and you were just like, big fat fucking yes.
Yeah, yes, straight up.
Was there like absolutely any thought that went into that, or was it just such a no-brainer, like, this is what I need?
I'm just trying to like take myself back to the moment. It was pretty no-brainer, but like then after the no-brainer, yes, it was kind of like we were both like getting super excited. We're like, oh, and then we can like do patches on it, and then we can like, you know, do it up like this and that. So it's just kind of like,
hell yeah,
just having it fun with it.
Fucking sick to have friends like that, man.
Oh man, I'm so grateful for the homies. Like without them, I would be nowhere near as far along as I've gotten. And even now, it's like, you know, there's so like much road that has been unexplored or untraveled, and I can't wait to just like travel it with these boys.
Speaking of the boys, I saw that Scribe is going to do a production stream soon, and I was Well, first of all, shout out to Scribe. Go follow him on Twitch. I'll chuck a link in the description. But I was wondering if you've thought of doing any production streams, because it looks like you got like a pretty nice streamer setup there. You got the colored lights, and is that a fisheye lens or something?
Actually, this is Jax. I totally borrowed it this morning. I was like, hey man, I need a camera. Can you hook me up? He's like, yeah, bro, I got you. I've thought about it. Yeah, for sure. I feel like a lot of knowledge that I can give can be found elsewhere and like more streamlined. But like it probably, if I was to do it, it wouldn't be about that. It'd just be about like, hey, just come spend some time with me. Like, you know, just vibe.
Yeah.
Like, can have like, even if it's not like a direct chat like we're having, it's kind of like, you know, I can talk to them, and it's kind of like, even if I'm alone and isolated in the house, you know, it could be nice because I've got people there. It's like, you know, it's kind of like Discord, how you don't have people in the same room, but you've kind of got each other in your ears, and you know, you're not alone. We're all together. And
then like when it gets rowdy in Discord, you can't produce, so you have to leave.
Yeah, it's always kind of like that double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to hang out with you guys, but can you also like shut up? Like, I'm trying to like tune this snare. There's a few servers on Discord that I would love to spend more time in, but also I can't deal with it. It's way too noisy, and it's just like, oh my god, like it's giving me
yeah, bro. you're taking me back to the Xbox days where I'll just like put on my headset, sit there for like 8 hours, fucking full party of people just yelling down their mics at fucking COD and Halo and all that shit.
Yeah.
And then I take off my headset and I'm like, all right, I need some fucking Panadol.
Yeah, it's like you're laying in bed at night and you can still hear the voices like in your ear. It's like, I fucked your mom, like, over and over again.
Oh god. Oh man. Okay, so what's one of your most memorable nights out as a DJ?
There are too many. There are actually too many. Probably the one that comes to mind like right now is the last gig we had was Mode Step with Filth Friends.
Oh yeah.
And Scribe and I, we did a back-to-back. And this back-to-back had been like so long time coming. Like we were both ecstatic for it. And you know, we'd back-to-back at parties and stuff. And it's always a good time. You know, we've had a few babies. But this gig, it was incredible. Like I love Mitch so much. He's an amazing friend. He's an incredible producer and inspiration. And I look up to him a lot I look up to him a lot in that regard. And it's just something about like performing with your friends. But like from the start of the set to the end, it was just sick. It was a vibe. And being able to like stand up on the stage and just like watch these mosh pits open and close and I'd see a friend and they'd be there 1 minute and then pff, they're gone. And then our final song was Ease My Mind by Skrillex.
Oh, hell yeah.
And we both got up onto like the speaker stack in front of the crowd and it was just kind of like, it was him and I, and it was like, it felt like we were on top of the world. Mode Step's like gearing up for it, like taking over, and you know, he turns to us as we're like getting down. He's like, "Boys, that was fucking sick." And it was like, I felt complete.
That's sick, man.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, I love what I do.
Yeah, I think I've seen some pics of that night, and you guys were just like, oh my god, you guys were just having fun, like just jumping around and like all over the place.
Yeah. Dude, I can't wait to see everyone at gigs again. And like, I can't wait to get you out and like, you know, just everyone to come together.
Hell yeah. I've been missing out and staying home too long.
Man. Rip. Yeah.
So since I was talking about those pics, every time I see them, I'm like, dude, Scribe is fucking huge. Like, am I wrong? Or is it just like, how tall is that guy?
Yeah, he's tall. He's a tall boy. It's really funny. Like, you know, we're all just like, "Hey, Mitch, how you going?" It's funny. One time we were in a KFC and ordering, and this dude who was taller than Mitch comes in.
Holy
and Mitch like looks up at him and then looks down at me and he's like, "Oh fuck, like, that was a tall boy."
Oh, that's amazing. So we kind of touched on this earlier, but I was wondering if there's anything else you like to do when you're not producing, because it can get like, you know, the cabin fever is real.
Yeah. Like, do you mean in terms in general, or like while in ISO?
Give me a bit of both.
Right. Well, recently I've just been trying to exercise. Some days it just doesn't happen, but like trying to. That's all we could do, right?
Yeah.
Binging Netflix.
Yeah.
Like catching up on like good shows. Something that Lawrence said to me once was like, to create good media, you must consume good media. And I think that's such a like sick saying. However, we all do need a shit show to just like switch off and like binge. A lot of the time when I'm not producing, Oh God, long pause. Hang on.
That's okay.
A lot of the time it is just like, you need to be producing, you need to be working, you need to be like back at the craft, which is a really like, it's such a frustrating mentality. But it's kind of just like hanging out with people, trying to be social. I don't know, just create memories.
Yeah. Create memories. Yeah. I think that's a really good thing because a lot of people just, buy things and don't really do anything with it. But if you create memories, they stick with you forever. And like, you can always look back on them and you can kind of re-enjoy memories, I guess.
Yeah, straight up.
So what kind of stuff are you producing at the moment? Has it changed up due to the fact that you can't go out to clubs and shit?
Yeah, actually, it was really interesting. So I don't know if you listened to the Mr. Bill podcast.
Oh, yes, I love that.
Listening to I've listened to it twice now. Once yesterday and then once this morning. The Kill the Noise episode, where he does touch on the whole idea of like, now that we're not necessarily clubbing or like going to gigs, what am I making music for? Like, and he gets to almost like quite aggressive about the point is like, I don't fucking care. Like this needs to be for me. Like, I want to enjoy, like, why am I doing this? And it was kind of like, yeah, cool. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
So, recently I've been, just this last week, I've been making this kind of like melodic house tune. Very much kind of like, if you've heard Begin Again by Knife Party.
Oh, yes. Nice.
Yeah. So a lot of kind of like they're really super hype, happy, like good time stuff. Just a bit of everything. Melodic trap. I've got a few melodic trap songs that I'm just kind of like sitting on. And it's kind of coming down to like, do I go put this out under Space Prince because it doesn't kind of like fit with this heavy dubstep thing I've got going on. But like, yeah, we'll see. Like, I've got them and I enjoyed making them and I can listen to my tunes over and over again and be like, fuck yeah, I like that.
Maybe you could pull like a reverse Void where you release stuff that's lighter than your regular stuff.
yeah. That would be good.
But yeah, I kind of agree with Kill the Noise on that. Like, I guess if there's no shows to play, then making raging dubstep doesn't make as much sense. But at the same time, I personally am someone who never went to that many shows and I still got deeply invested into dubstep. So I don't fully agree with that. Like, there doesn't always need to be shows for there to be ragey music.
Yeah, for sure.
And on that, I've got nothing against Kill the Noise, but I actually unfollowed him on Twitter because I'm sick of seeing him just post so much. Like, he's so extremely opinionated, and I'm just like, dude, I don't need this.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's kind of like there's a huge disconnect with like the person and their music. Like, you could meet someone that's like the happiest, nicest guy, and then they make like the most disgusting, like just white noise kick and snare, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, I did not expect that.
Dude, I think one of my lecturers from SAE actually might want to be one of those guys.
It's you least expect it. Like, it's you wouldn't like pick them, and then it just hits you in the face.
We're just about done with the questions here, so I was wondering if there was like anything else you would want to shout out or give attention to just before we wrap it up.
Oh, dude, there's so much. I could keep you here like all afternoon. For starters, just like all the homies, like, Scribe, Tom the Freak, Dreer, Hamish, Lawrence. Lawrence has been incredible, like an incredible help along the way in terms of branding. Like, I would be nowhere near as refined as I am without him. And even now we've got a few plans that like we're excited to execute once, we can and isolation's over. Man Effects, Jack, my roommate, like sick cunt, love him. Vital Mode, into Ash, like there's so many people, dude. There's everyone's amazing. Into Ash and I have been working on this project called the Wub House, which is basically a warehouse that we have access to, and we're just doing it up. Like, we're building a stage. We've invested like thousands of dollars into lights and speakers and shit.
Holy
so
shit.
as soon as ISO's over, like as soon as it's legal and safe naturally, you better believe we're going to have gigs. We're going to have gigs there.
Sick.
And we'll host like Filth Friends, Mothership, just everything. Like, yeah, that I could go on forever.
Sorry if I missed it. I remember being in the Discord like a week or two, maybe even longer ago. I don't know. But you guys were looking at locations for the Wub House, and I was wondering if you've actually like settled on a location yet.
Well, okay, so the warehouse where it's currently like being set up now, that's kind of like that's our place. We were looking at places like more central, like in the city, kind of bigger like warehouses or venues, just so it's kind of like we have a contingency plan because, we can't be in a warehouse in the outer boroughs forever.
Yeah.
And, it's that it's kind of like a contingency plan. But if we have the opportunity to go for it now, why the fuck not? Like,
yeah.
So it's just kind of like, dream big and, have these massive ambitions. And even if you don't reach these massive ambitions, you're going to land somewhere below it. The higher you aim, the higher you'll fall.
True.
I don't know. Like, again, it comes down to, if you want to do something, just do it. I remember when I turned 18 and I like came out clubbing, it was fucking shit. Like, I went out and there were like just people going out to get trashed and fucked up, and like it was all just like minimal and like R&B. And like, if you enjoy that, fuck yeah, good on you, not to like trash on it. But it was hard to find people that were out for the music. So I literally turned around and said, fuck it, I'm going to make my own club. And I did. And a lot of people are like, how did you do it? And I did. I Googled what I needed to find out. I found a venue. I have an abundance of amazing friends and talented people, that I can call upon. And, we all pulled together and we just did it.
It's fucking sick, man. That's madly inspirational.
That's all it is to it.
Just fucking do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Should be a Nike ambassador.
Sponsor, please.
All right. Thanks so much for joining me, man. It was great talking to you.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much for having me. Like, honestly, it's an honor. I really like think it's cool what you're doing, and like,
thanks, bro.
Supporting other artists, and like, it's really cool just like hearing everyone's opinions and all that, and like what they think and how they're doing it. It's really cool. So like, thank you so much.
That's all good, man. Yeah, it was amazing. This episode was full of laughs, and like, I think it really, hopefully it touched a lot of people and inspired them to, just put in the effort to just do it, like break down those walls and shit. So yeah, thank you everyone for listening to the Wavetable episode 10 featuring Space Prince. Make sure to go check out his latest release, The Divide, on Syndicate Audio, and there'll be a link in the description. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Fucking oath, dude.
Sick, bro.